So you get out there and you do the thing and you learn and you make a mistake and then you fix the mistake and you grow. Because most times what you think you're preparing for your people is not even what your people need. You won't know what your people need unless you're serving your people. So you got to get busy.
Listen, we are going to kick off our time, and I really want you to be able to share with those who are in the room, what was the most significant part of your journey moving from 5 to 6 figures in your business? And I'm going to start with you, Dr. Kylia.
Transitioning and working on that financial growth, I think it's taken a lot of discipline and focus.
Yeah.
And Lamar always says to us, like, you want a bunch of 6-figure businesses or you want a 7-figure business? So
that fracture focus, he's going to talk about it every single time, right?
Right. So then I'm just trying to like really zone in this one area. And I think by doing that, I was able to add like an additional $76K in the last few months within this one stream.
I'm sorry, slow that down. You said it way too fast. Let's try that again. How much did you say that you've added?
In the last few months, an extra $76K by just focusing a little bit more.
That's worthy of some applause, right? A couple months, 76 extra. That's not even the total. That's in addition to. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And what pushed you over to that point where you're able to see those kinds of results? Anybody else in the room want to make an extra 76K in their business?
Absolutely.
It's only, okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, that's correct. That's correct. All right. So let's please school us.
I want y'all to still love me, but can I be honest?
Yes, you need to be.
Okay, so we come to the conferences, we take the notes.
Uh-oh.
We commit at some level. We're in love. We doing the Tamia dance, all the things.
She about to step on somebody's toes.
And
I can feel it.
then we leave and we don't execute. So it was just taking that piece, like money, love, speed, and then also saying I invested in myself this far. Let me invest in a team. And my team has been 10 out of 10 phenomenal. So adding a team and having support with social, having support with the back end, not wanting to rip my hair out because I can't figure this funnel out in these automations and workflows. So adding a team, I think, was one of the things that pushed me as well.
Wait. So we have to back up for just 1 second because there are a number of people, some probably right here, who feel like I can't pay for team until I get to my million. I can't even spend that and invest back until I make that. What I hear you saying is by investing in your team and by investing in programs, you actually made more money?
Yes, because again, money loves speed. So by saying that I don't have to do this all by myself, there are professionals out there that can assist me. Finding the right people and having them executing alongside of me definitely just kind of pushed me. So I'm excited about 2025.
Oh my goodness, that's a nugget, right? Yeah. Nugget. And I want to also point this out. You're still teaching in the classroom, is that accurate?
Oh yes, hey y'all, I'm also a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. So yes.
And a mom.
And a mother of 4. My baby girl's 1, my oldest is 10. So 4 kids, crazy crew.
So what does that say? What would you say to the person who's still at their full-time job? They're still working, they have a family, and they're trying to figure it out. What would you say for them?
It was said earlier in the conference today when we were talking about, just looking at the level of importance of things and prioritizing the things we have to do. So by eliminating procrastination in certain areas like, oh, I need to do this laundry, I have to do it, and saying, let me outsource this laundry for $1 a pound so I can do what I'm really supposed to be doing or getting help in some other areas, it allowed me to focus on the higher skill sets. And then that kind of just gave me what I needed because nothing is perfect over here and I don't believe in balance, but I do believe in rhythm. So every day I'm just searching for that rhythm and giving myself grace. And when I fall down, just being dedicated to getting up more times than I fall down.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you guys give her a round of applause for that. We always talk about finding the right place for you. And if you are stuck doing $20 an hour jobs, you cannot do the $20,000 job that you need to do that's going to change the life of your business. And that's what I hear you really, really focusing on. And so I really want those who have families, taking care of parents, I want you to be able to think about that, taking care of your kids to be able, and as a mom, I believe that's such an important message. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Emem Washington, y'all give her some love. I just have to say how special it is to be able to speak to you on this panel. Right out there in that lobby, right outside of that exit, I walked up to you. You were volunteering for this conference. And I said, you are Emem Washington, the speaking training coach. Oh my gosh, you're here. Right. I said, and you're volunteering at TSP? Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to meet you. You had a reputation. You had begun building a business, and you went from volunteering right here at this organization, right here at this program, and found your way in Propel and found your way to the mastermind. Tell me a little bit about what brought you to the mastermind. How many people have you helped get on the TEDx stage?
So I haven't counted recently, but I'm somewhere at 20, but I have a goal of 1,000 people, especially 1,000 Black women. I'm just gonna say that safely in this room.
Yes.
So I had started my business, and I kept seeing a couple of times a year, I kept seeing posts about TSP. We just came back from TSP this and TSP that, and I was like, what is this thing? So I went online and I searched for it, and then I subscribed. And then I got an email saying, they're looking for volunteers. And I literally said, okay, Lord, if I'm meant to be at that conference, I'm gonna apply as a volunteer and they're gonna accept me. I said that because I had applied to be a volunteer for something else, and I never heard back. So I applied, they said, come on, had the calls with Doreen and team, and so I came, but I specifically asked to be in the room. I wanted to be one of the volunteers in the room. So as a volunteer, you serve half of the day and you get to attend for half of the day. So I wanted to be in the room the whole day. So just the first day, that was the year that Magic Johnson came.
Oh,
From the first time I entered the room, wearing my red vest as a volunteer, I just knew that I had to be a part of this community because it's so rich, and it checks every box that I was looking for community, for coaches, for courses, for cheerleaders, for everything. So I wasn't able to sign up for the mastermind at that time. I had to go back home, talk to my husband, and explain why I was going to invest this much in this. But I knew I wanted to be around TSP, so I joined Propel. And it was good, but knowing me, I need that extra layer of accountability. I need to, I know what I needed. And so that was June of 2022. Then November of 2022, I went ahead and made the leap to join the mastermind, and I have zero regrets.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Y'all give her some love. And what has helped you dial in? You've gone from volunteering to Propel, which is an amazing program, to that mastermind level. What has helped you dial in to make the most out of this mastermind experience?
Wow, yeah, there's so many different factors, but I think one that I want to highlight is, and Dr. Kailia said it, was implementing. So I'm not one of the I'm not one of the quickest people to implement, right? Like she said, I would take notes, and I love taking notes. I'm a professional and personal development junkie. I will come and be here all day.
A professional note taker, right?
Yes, all of that, right? And so, but challenging myself, having a WHAM, an accountability group, and I've been in several since I've been in the mastermind, but having, yes, I see my WHAM out there.
Shout out to the WHAM. Anybody else have WHAM groups? These are weekly accountability meetings. Shout out. All right. Can you explain what y'all do in your WHAM?
Yeah, so I'm actually part of 2 WHAMs, and again, that I know me. So we meet weekly, and we each share what our challenges are, and we kind of do the hot seat thing in our weekly meetings, and each person goes around and shares what their challenges are, and we all pour into each other, and then we share what our goal, our task is for the next time we meet. And so that helps keep us accountable. And then so many brilliant ideas come from my WHAM group members that I may have overlooked, and vice versa. So yeah, so being in a WHAM has helped me, showing up for all the calls that I can, and that makes sense, right? Because we still have to go out there and implement, but showing up for the calls and not hiding behind, because even though all the tests say I'm an extrovert, I think I'm an ambivert, but I tend to want to just sit and listen and not really ask questions and not really, engage as much. I love people, but so challenging myself to engage and be vulnerable has really helped me. And last thing I'll say is, I also, for all the visionary people in the room, all the people that are ideators, so many ideas come, and then before you even complete this idea, you've moved on to the next. That was me. So having Coach Alex, Lamar, and all of the coaches really reminding me to follow this course until I get to the goal before I move on to something else has really helped me.
Yes, that's amazing. That's awesome feedback, and I hope that there are some people, anybody in here that was for you? That fractured focus was for you? Follow the path until you get to the goal before you start changing up the strategy, right? That's so important, and I know that has had a tremendous impact on all of you all, moving from 5 to 6 figure businesses. Mr. Lawrence. Hey, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great.
I am so excited to have you on the stage because this is such an important representation for the breadth and depth of how the mastermind is supportive of all kinds of businesses and certainly different types of service-based businesses. Can you introduce your business? And I want to hear a little bit about how you got into this particular business.
So my journey into my business started early on. My dad was an electrical engineer. And I'm from Guyana, which is in South America. My dad, he was an electrical engineer and he did it at a high level. So he was so good at it that he got invited to run an electrical division in Zambia. It was for a sugarcane factory. His best friend was a mechanical engineer, so I drew a lot of inspiration from having those type of people around, and with them being, managing people, things like that, I was exposed to, that level of expertise in the field. My first technical job was at Bell South, so I started in the telecommunications industry, and from there, I did DirecTV for a small time. After, while I was at DirecTV, I got really good at it, and so that was my first experience actually, just not so much being in a company, but I was a subcontractor, so I was out on my own, so I get to, pretty much make my own ceiling. So I got so good at it that I became a manager and I had techs under me. And so while I was at these, in these homes, I would, people would ask me, hey, can you do certain things? So that's how I started installing televisions because, people were like, hey, you're installing my satellite. Hey, I need the TV. So, sure, I can do that. So I started doing a lot more TV installations. I moved from there, and I actually started, I met other people that were in the home theater industry, which brought me into it's like a whole nother world, right? So I didn't even know existed. So we were, in luxury homes, and I'm doing all kinds of systems. But what I realized is those people were really good at the technical side, but they didn't really understand how to manage a business.
Yes.
So that's why I started on my own. And if I could answer your question that you asked, Dr. Kalia, going from a 5-figure to a 6-figure business, I was installing TVs and cameras. I generated a 5-figure income, but then I hired my first tech, and that's how I got to 6 figures.
I like it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so talking about expansion.
Exactly.
So you actually left the mastermind and then came back on home. We're happy to have you. What is it that you knew existed within this community that you needed to go to the next level? Because right now, you're doing residential, but you're also doing commercial. I mean, there's a huge expansion on the horizon, and I know I see so much more at this point in time. What's that difference maker for you and coming back into the program?
So I knew I needed coaching because to scale my business, like I don't like to try to figure out stuff on my own, right? So we've all been there. I mean, if you get stuck, there's no need to stay stuck. You ask for help. And so
stay in your zone of genius.
Exactly.
And let other people come and support you.
Right. So the mastermind, I mean, the whole community is such a rich culture. It's such a rich culture of brilliant individuals, and just having access to people that can help you get answers to your problems, like wherever, because everyone is in different stages of their business, and so just having that resource to like say, hey, coach, this is what I want to work on, and this is where I want to go, and like the coaches here are just amazing. They just really dial into your business. They try to understand where you are and where you're trying to go. So
awesome. No, that's really helpful, because I think there's so many folks who may be coming from a trade or maybe coming from another type of background, nursing, other types of industries where business wasn't always put out at the forefront, right? And are trying to think bigger. They want to expand their thought process behind that. And that's something that I see in all three of your journeys here. And so Dr. Kalia, I want to come to you, because when you entered the program, you were running a product-based business, amazing crafter. Shout out to the crafting community. And some beautiful products, adorable, unique products. But you, in thinking bigger, have been expanding what you do and have added a whole different stream of revenue to your business. Can you talk a little bit about how this new venture is changing the way that you're looking at business and changing your bank account?
Wow. Absolutely. So it actually was on one of our late night Wednesday night calls.
Okay, was it one of those 10 o'clock or like midnight calls?
Listen, it was one of those like 1 a.m. calls.
1 a.m. Oh man. Oh.
I mean, but sometimes we are on these calls from literally 8 p.m. to 1 o'clock. You do all the things on the call. So it was on one of the calls, and Lamar was like, "So you're teaching still, you're working." It was one of those you're doing too much conversation, but then it was like a strategy conversation as well. So you're a teacher, you know how to teach. Why are you not teaching something that's also in your zone of genius on this side of things? So I started coaching, and then it was like, okay, this is cool, but we need to start looking at one-to-many. And I was like, y'all want me to talk to people? Like, it's one thing with my high school kids in the classroom, we're there. But it felt great to have people pushing me and supporting me and giving me the confidence to step out and to feel secure and feel safe in stepping out, to encourage me to not only lean in on my strengths, but to lean in on my weaknesses as well. I didn't want to focus on funnels. I didn't want to focus on the back end and email sequences and text messages, and I'd get on the calls and be super lost, so I'd start washing dishes or something. But just being able to kind of lean into the community, and again, when we get on our coaching calls and you're like, go do this, and I'm like, okay, but I did it.
But you did it. Right. But you did. Isn't that the whole point of this execution, right? Give her some love for that.
Yeah, so just not thinking that you know everything. And when you sign up for the thing and you get the feedback, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Just try the thing, try the new thing. You came here for a reason. You came here for change. So change.
Brian Moran, author of The 12-Week Year, if you all are familiar, it's one of the books that the Mastermind has been recommended, and we also had Brian Moran come in to do a workshop for the Mastermind on an exclusive training. And one of the takeaways that he had that I always try to incorporate when I'm sitting with anyone coaching is he says, measure the actions, not the results first. Measure your actions first before you measure the result. Because what you want to be able to see, and what you're pointing out, Dr. Kylea, is that you took the action first. So whatever the result may be, if you say, well, it didn't work out, I didn't get enough people in my challenge, or my summit failed. Okay, before we talk about success or failure, let's talk about what we did and did not do. Let's talk about, did we get stuck in overthinking, or did we take the action? And that's what I hear you saying.
Yes, and also, raise your hand for me if you have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, if you're one of my educated people in the room.
Let the record show that everyone's.
Special message just for you, and that is, get out of your own way.
Woo!
Because
did she step on your toes?
We are watching people out here, we're like, man, like you might have been doing it longer, you're more experienced, and it's not even from a hateful perspective. Right. It's just you're in your head about it because you're watching people hit these milestones and grow and grow and grow. And you're on the back end like, I just got to get my course together, I got to get this outline together, I got to get these products together. As soon as it's perfect, I'm going to release this thing. And I'm here to tell you that it's never going to be perfect. This is not a dissertation. That I did it. I worked on it for a long time. Lots of revisions, lots of the things. But your business is trial and error. So you get out there and you do the thing and you learn and you make a mistake and then you fix the mistake and you grow. Because most times what you think you're preparing for your people is not even what your people need.
Come on, tell the people.
And you won't know what your people need unless you're serving your people. So you got to get busy.
That's good. Nugget, right? It's a whole wing. That's not a nugget. That's a whole wing right there. Awesome. We're going to have time for about 3 or 4 questions. So we have a mic right in here in the center. So if you do have questions for these amazing panelists, and you should, because this is an excellent brain trust for the people in the room, then you can go to the mics here and we'll take a few questions. Emem, I'm going to come to you before we start our Q&A. I want you to share how you transition from the one-to-one to the one-to-many model. What about that, Lamar talking about it, sitting on coaching calls, talking about it, there was reservation, and then you did it. What did it feel like to have that success? What was that process? Going from that, I'm holding it back, I don't know if I can I get there? And then actually doing it. And tell me how it felt when the first person paid you for that.
All right, I love this question. Yes, I was very resistant to, I knew that, I'm in a one-to-many program here in the Mastermind, but I thought, I'm coaching people on their TEDx talks, and I can't do that one-to-many, that works for teaching crafting, that works for somebody else, that doesn't work for me.
Woo.
And Lamar always talks about, and actually all the coaches always talk about, stop saying that works for somebody else, it doesn't work for me, and ask yourself, how can I make this work for me?
Yes.
And so actually, the wheels started turning when I came for the 2-day quick start, which you taught at the time.
After you joined the mastermind.
After I joined the
Yes,
mastermind,
okay.
and saw like, okay, we're all in a room. We have Coach Alex and guiding us through with this workbook. And then something else. Oh, Lamar did his tours, and I saw him talking and coaching in half a day. And so I started thinking, well, there are things that I talk about. There's something that I share with each client. So why can't I do that thing, say that thing to more than one client at a time? So, and I got on a call with Coach John, got on a call with Coach Alex, and just slowly built it out. And so one last thing I'll say is that I used to have clients that would sign up. I say this a lot. They would pay their hard-earned money, and then they wouldn't show up, like not for day one. And, I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? Like, why aren't they showing up? And it took me realizing that they're super busy doing amazing things in this world. And so an 8-week, 12-week program, another 8-week, 12-week program is not what they're looking for. So I started this 2-day intensives, which Lamar teaches so well. And in doing the 2-day intensives, I could have a small group in the room and, give them one-on-one attention when needed, but also give them the general information when necessary. The first time that somebody paid me to be a part of this, she actually told me that we're family, so I charged $3,500 at that time.
$3,500 for a 2-day intensive.
Right, and
Okay.
she came from out of town, flew into Houston, Texas, and the feedback that she gave me was that I would have paid $10,000 to do this. And I was like, oh my goodness. I still am not charging that much yet, but I'm working my way there.
Yeah, we'll get on a call about that later. Yes, we will. But that's powerful, though, because you went from feeling like, I can't do this, this isn't for my business, this won't work for my business, this works for somebody else, to hearing Lamar talk and teach about the 2-day intensive. And he's given behind the scenes to his own 2-day intensives to the mastermind and collaborative members. You went from that to someone telling you, I would triple the fee just to sit here and be with you.
Literally after she did it, and I've heard that at least 3 more times since then.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna have a call about this. All right, we're gonna talk about raising those prices to be able to meet the need of the person who's the right fit for you. And that goes for everyone here, though. But what's the mindset shift that happened? You took the action, you did it a little bit scared, not certain that it was going to work out, but just taking the chance and trusting the teaching that you were receiving, that you've already invested in, and now you see the fruit of that. How has that shifted your mindset about your business and where you can go? Are you on track now and thinking about what's my 7-figure plan? Like, what has that done for
Absolutely. Like, 7 figures look like so far away for me, and up until last year. So, end of last year, end of 2024, I came into 2025 saying this is going to be my 7-figure year, and I literally I could not have been in that. I wouldn't have had that shift, but for everything that has been poured into me, and then seeing seeing everybody that is making 6 figures, 7 figure, and 8 figures that look like me. Oh my goodness, yeah. So now 7 figures is the goal this year.
All right. Y'all
Hold me accountable.
Yeah, listen. We are not only going to, in this room, hold you accountable, we're going to hold you capable.
Amen.
We are going to hold you capable, and we're going to hold so many others capable. Who's ready to be on their 7-figure journey too? Raise your hand. I want to see hands all the way up. I want to see you identify yourself. Yes. That's not enough people for me in the room. I want everybody here. If you have 7 figures, I want your hand up for 8. But that is what the power of that mindset change, along with that execution, getting that strategy from community, can take you to that level. So thank you for sharing that. All right, we have time for a couple of questions. I'm going to come to the front first, and then I'll come right to the back.
Good evening. I am Shantoya Jones, the owner of Act Now Financial Services.
What's up, Wham?
I'm sitting here like a proud mama. I'm like, look at him up there. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
I love the love. I love the love.
I own a virtual accounting, consulting, and tax firm called Act Now Financial Services, where I get to leverage my past employment as a tax auditor to now become an ally for my clients looking to push their profits super high and find tax strategies that go right to the edge of legal but not too far over.
I love that.
Thank you. I just came up with it. My question is...
You've been working in this session here today, right?
My wham is up there. I can't come slipping. So my question is, for those of us that are visionaries, and whether you all have diversified your income streams or not, how have you decided what is something to pursue to diversify your income versus what is something that is going to contribute to fractured focus?
Is there anyone in particular that you're asking the question to?
Kylie did speak about diversifying her income, but I'm curious for others, the other two that didn't mention that, even if they haven't, like how did they decide not to pursue something else and to just focus on the one thing that's the one thing?
All right, so how did you cure fractured focus? You all are geniuses. Y'all come up with ideas all the time. How did you commit to what you're going to focus on and see it to the end? I'm just going to give each of y'all a minute or so to answer.
That was triggering. That made me want to cry a little bit because I'm just thinking about some of my babies, like some of the things that I had going on that was bringing in money, bringing in a few extra $1,000, an extra $5K a month, and having to, talk to some of my partners and talk to some of my people and say, listen, I love you. I love this. I love what we built. But right now, I'm investing so much into my education, so I have to be coachable, and I have to put this on hold for just a minute, for just a little bit, until I get this thing rolling. Mm-hmm. And once my team is up, once I'm up and running, maybe I can revisit some of these things. Because for me, it was about the joy. Like, real estate is great. Those assets, generational wealth, the things that we'll be able to leave our children is phenomenal. But I also love getting to do something that doesn't feel like work to me. So it really it was a tough decision to make, but it was just something you have to do. And it takes discipline to focus. So I decided that I was going to be disciplined and focus on growing in this one area. And when that's established with my recurring revenue, then maybe I can revisit something else I really love to.
So I heard recurring revenue and prioritizing time and recognizing where you want to put your energy were important for you. Lawrence, I want to come to you.
Okay, so I think my answer would be probably my passion for my work. I kind of lean into that. Also, like, I had a lot of doubters. So, some of the people I work with, like, they didn't want to see me where I am today. So, like, that's been like motivation for me.
Wow.
To show them, you got to step out on them and, just do what
Sometimes
you
got to pop out and show them. That's what the songs say. Yes. Okay. And I don't even think about that sometimes. I feel like I see people who are successful and I say, nobody's rooting against them, right? And to hear you say that really is a reminder that somebody out there has a chip on their shoulder, and that doesn't have anything to do with your success and your business.
That's good.
So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. All right, Emem.
Really, I mean, up until recently, even right after the elections, right? I had this idea, and I talked to you about it on a call. I had this idea that rather than focusing on TEDx, I'm going to now focus on purpose-driven speaking, because, there are people that need to be saying something that maybe aren't happy with the way things are, and so on and so forth. And between Coach Alex and Lamar and a few other people, they got me all the way together. So I'm saying that I'm not completely cured from having all these ideas, but that's part of having accountability.
Yes.
So that's my answer.
Yes, that's so good. It's the accountability. You're still going to be brilliant. You're still going to be creative. But what do you do with that, and how do you channel it and get the support that you need? Thank you so much for that. Excellent question.
Thank you.
We're going to come over to the back. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Lenitra King, your PR expert with 100% success rate at getting clients TV, radio, or print press in 90 days or less. And Kylie, you talked about it doesn't have to be perfect. It's trial and error, not a dissertation, and that really hit my soul.
Oh, yes.
So my question is, what do I need to do in the next 90 days to hit my fast action goal without getting caught up in that loop?
Get up and do the work. Go to sleep and get up and do the work again. When we think about it, even from that dissertation sense and just academia in general, you know, those of us who have gone through those educational experiences, you also have to just be reminded that the reason that we had classroom assignments leading up to the test was so that we had the opportunity to practice, right? Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing on this side. As you're striving to get to your fast money, you just have to get out there and do the work and then implement. And I'll give you guys a real, very, very hurtful example of what I'm going through in this very moment. So I've been investing a lot more in ads lately, so my list has grown so much. And I was so excited. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have like 10,000 people on this call. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna serve so many people. I'm gonna help them. I'm about to turn their businesses up. And just so excited about it. And then it's right before the call and we're like, oh my goodness, like, we pretty much had like a 99% fail rate for our text messages going out, right? Ouch. So now I've invested all of this money and no one's gonna get the reminder to come to the call. And let's just keep it real. We sign up for things all the time. If we don't get that text reminder with that link so we can click and hop in, it's not gonna happen, right? Yeah. So that was a hurt moment. So I had to go back to the drawing board and I started calling every single person in the mastermind. I was showing up for every call and I'm still here getting some answers this weekend, to be honest with you. But now that I'm in a different league, so to speak, I have new problems that I have to solve quickly so that I can serve my people. That's good. So you won't know what those problems are if you don't get out there and fail. That's good. And in that, even within that failure, you'll find success. I just brought many people into my new community. I'm excited to serve them. And you just got to get out there. People are waiting for you. They're waiting for what you do. They're waiting for your service. Find me after this. And just make sure that you're there and ready to serve. They can't serve you if they don't know who you are. You can't serve them if you don't, if you're not there to serve them.
That's good. That's good. And don't miss what she said. She said, find her after this.
I will.
All right.
90 days or less. We hold you to that one.
Okay, before I come to the front, where are my mastermind people at? All right. So Dr. Kylie hit on a principle Lamar talks about all the time, LAO. What's that stands for? Launch, analyze, and optimize. Not AOL. This is not dial-up. This is not analyze and then optimize on your paper and then launch it once you feel like you figured it out on paper, because you can't do it that way. The optimization comes from actually doing the action. Right. All right. Coming to the front. Yeah.
Good evening. I am Dr. Tajiri Brackens, the workplace wizard, the founder of Heritage Leadership Consulting. And what we do is we help leaders create a workplace environment, a culture to where your people do not want to leave you.
Yes, Oz. Yes, the Oz experience.
We do it through childhood stories, the Oz experience. I'm a little bit different and a little bit special. I'm standing here to encourage you, because who encourages the encourager? I have seen you guys grow just since I have been in June. And that gives me life and possibilities to know that I can have it too. And it's not that difficult. It's not brain surgery. I can get out there and do it. So thank you for being the examples for us within the community to be able to look at and say we can have it too.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
That is so amazing.
You will have it too.
You're 7 figures.
Let me
get in this mic and say it and proclaim it real good. I am coming for my $1.5 million this year. So we will be sitting on 7 figures together on the panel, telling them how we literally started from the bottom. Now we are here.
Yes.
Yes. We are executing all the way down the yellow brick road this year, okay?
There's so much encouragement among the community and the mastermind. That's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that and encouraging our panelists here. Yes, panelists, I can't see. What's your name? Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. My name is Sherdon. Hey, friends.
Hey, Sherdon.
I'm so happy to be here. My name is Sherdon. I'm the CEO of She Prints It. We are a fiercely female promotional products and print company helping you increase revenue, relationships, and referrals through the power of promotional products. Now, my question is, as we are all preparing for this pivot, and we've been through so many of them, right? But each time it feels like you've never done it before. What are you guys doing to show up differently in this pivot that we're about to experience so that, to your point, Em, that you don't get so far off track of what's rendering success, but you are moving accordingly to maintain the growth of your business?
Is your question for Emem?
Anybody.
Okay, I just want to clarify. What pivot are you describing?
Well, I don't know if y'all watch the news, but
Political pivots, okay.
it's a little Cheeto guy, and he's doing different things, and it's going to impact us potentially like COVID did, right? And so I think sometimes when we prepare to pivot, we pivot so far off track that we lose focus on where our success actually lies. And so what are you guys going to do to stay in the success lane, but also adjust accordingly?
Yeah.
I can jump in real quickly and say, as a person of faith, I try not to hide behind faith, but as a person of faith, there's a story in the Bible that talks about Peter walking on water, and after taking a few steps, then when he's looking at Jesus, he's okay. And then when he looks away,
Amen.
so
Come on, Emem.
let me just say this. I'm saying it personally because I literally was here. I arrived in Atlanta on Monday, watching all the news, and fear gripped me. And I had to remind myself to keep my eyes on,
Amen.
and knowing that I just got to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. He's going to take care of the rest. And I believe that he will take care of the rest.
Yes. Thank you so much for answering that question. We have time for one last brief question in the back. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Renee Matsushima, and I'm the co-owner, along with my adult son, Michael, of T-Mart Decorative Apparel, where we do T-shirt printing and banners and stickers and all of the promotional items. And Dr. Kalia, I was actually on your challenge last week. You did a wonderful job. My question is, what are the top things that we should focus on to start to incorporate teaching into our business? So we have about 10 years of hands-on experience doing all the things, and we'd like to incorporate teaching others how, to do some of these things. What is your advice for going from making all the things to also teaching?
Yeah, Dr. Kalia.
That is a really good one. So something that I encourage, I call them my crafties. Something I always encourage my community to do is focus on their gift, right? So sometimes as coaches, we have to focus on the broader picture. And sometimes that means that we're delivering through certain lanes, like how to do sublimation or how to embroider or how to do this. What is your gift? So whatever you are most gifted at and you love the most, start with teaching your people that and not worrying about what everyone else has going on. Don't worry about what you see other people finding their success in, right? So go ahead, start your group, start your community, start showing up for them, start pouring into them. And then on the strategy side, it's great, congratulations, Propel Gang. It's great to have strategy on that side where you can ask the coaches questions. What do I need to do next? I want to host a webinar. I want to host a challenge. But within all of that, just be true to yourself. It's great to look at everybody in industry and take notes and see how they're finding their success, but showing up as you is going to take you so much further.
That's so good.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Authenticity, yes.
Final question.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kia Stevens, and I'm the founder of Entrusted Women, where we equip Christian women communicators of color. And my question is about Facebook ads and kind of tied into what, I don't remember her name, but with the changing climate and with Facebook, I've noticed a shift, people moving off of Facebook, getting rid of Facebook groups and moving to a different platform. Is there another way where you can generate a lot of, I guess, organic growth without focusing on Facebook ads or boosting on Instagram? Can you speak to that?
I'm gonna just quickly plug, shout out to the the school community that Traffic Sales and Profit is developing, which is one of the platforms to that transition. Are there any tools that you all are using for organic leads? Because it's not just about traffic. Traffic is the source where you're getting the leads. So where are you all getting your organic leads that are unpaid?
So I am, organically, I would just show up for my communities. I am, and I think that a lot of the coaches now, we are taking our communities off of Meta platforms. They exist, they are great for sourcing traffic, but because Meta has pulled priority out of groups at this point, it's no longer a big factor for them, so they're not putting team and staff into growing groups at this point. We are taking our communities elsewhere, such as school, or for people that are in high level has community as well.
Have you been emailing your people more since you're not using social platforms?
So let me tell y'all something. So,
oh, listen, unlock the nugget. Wait a minute.
Listen, I was so nervous about opening a community in general, and then I was like, you want me to open another one and not on Facebook? So that means I have to have an app. You are literally adding to all the things I have to do every day. I gotta show up and talk to people. Like, this feels like a lot of work, okay? So, but I did it because I was obedient. I'm gonna listen when my coaches say do something, I'm gonna do it.
Thank you for being coachable.
My community off of Facebook has 4 times the number of people that my Facebook group does within 3 weeks.
Wow.
They are active. My leaderboard is crazy. They are involved. They are looking. So I would say that Meta is not a bad platform for getting your traffic, but definitely make sure that you're controlling your audience. There's also other benefits, like if you have an exterior platform, they're more visible to you, and you can have it set up so that every time you go and post, they're getting an email from you. Whereas you might have to re-engage your audience through ads to reach the people in your own group.
Thank you. What did you say your business was one more time? Christian?
It's Entrusted Women, and the aim is to equip Christian women communicators of color.
Okay. Do you know, is Adrienne Simpson in the room? Probably not. She is?
Is she an author?
Where is she?
She's on site.
Okay,
here,
she's here, but have you met her?
No.
Okay, so she's LinkedIn Pros. That is Adrienne back there. Okay, so get with Adrienne because LinkedIn is her jam, and I believe that a lot of your people are on LinkedIn as well. And LinkedIn has, once you find your audience there, it's easier to get them organically than on any other platform, just from what I've learned from Adrienne.
All right, thank you, Emem. Thank you.
So what I hear is there's a concern about losing kind of some of these, classic platforms, but there's other opportunities if you're investing the time and willing to do the work, because people are interested in a different kind of engagement, and you all are seeing results from that. Lawrence, anything else you want to add about getting any kind of organic unpaid traffic? Are you getting lots of referrals in your business? I know that's one of the levers we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I joined last year, Lamar had the quick start. He taught on the importance of having a referral program. So I've been leaning into that, and I also started Keep and hoping to, optimize that part of our process so we can get that flywheel going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much value in being able to build a strong base and then allowing them to be your advocates and helping you do some of that organic outreach that is to assist with the paid ads. When you do the paid ads, do them, right? But don't just rely on the paid ads. Use some of these other tools that they're using, email marketing, referrals, other levers that we talk about in the program.
May I add one more thing?
Yes.
I think that another way organically that I've been able to grow is just by showing up and serving. So I often hear from the coaches that I overteach, neither here nor there.
But you won't hear that you overserve, because that's different, friend.
But yeah, just showing up and serving in other people's communities, showing up in groups and serving, whatever your expertise is, just going in and helping people. And you would be surprised how people would naturally gravitate to you when you're authentic and you're showing up in service instead of always just showing up to look for $1.
So that's a good question. Are there any, and this can apply to any of you all, are there any JV partnerships or borrowing audience transactions that you all have been able to benefit from in the mastermind, be able to collaborate and grow in that way?
In the works as we speak, and I'll be speaking. I have some names of people that I will be talking to here at Game Plan, but also some mastermind members have invited me to speak to their communities.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, and that's another way for organic traffic. When you elevate your network, you elevate your potential net worth, right? And so when you have people who like, know, and trust you, and you're in relationship with them, and they know your business, they know that you're dependable, you're going to deliver, then they don't mind sharing that audience with you and inviting you to come speak on their stages. And that's another way outside of just paid ads that you all can be taking advantage of that. Yes.
So I always felt a little bit left out. I'm just going to be honest, like even within the mastermind, I felt a little bit left out because I was just like, my business in the mastermind surrounds crafting and personalized things. And I'm just like, I want to go speak at other people's events and do some of the JVs and the partnerships they're doing. But in transparency, I didn't see where I was able to add value to their communities. And I really had to take a step back, and I was just like, I asked. I started getting on calls and saying, I do want to participate in these ways. Who could I JV with? What would that look like? And then Coach Tiffany was like, I got the perfect person for you. I want you to JV with Frankie. She's a wedding planner. Oh. I'm having a wedding challenge. And then that small list turned, hey, Frankie. That small list turned into a bigger list. Shardon. Hey, Shardon. Shardon and I have been talking about launching something together as well. So sometimes even when your area is very unique and you don't feel like it fits in, you just have to get out there and ask the questions, because sometimes what you can offer is exactly what people need.
So open up your mouth.
Open up your mouth and ask the questions.
Yes, and show up in the community. So that's super powerful. Well, I just want to thank you all so much for being a part of this six-figure panel. And I have one final question for you. In one word, what are you focusing on in 2025 to take you from this six-figure on to seven? One word. How do we capture that, Lawrence?
Strategy.
Strategy. I love it. Yes.
Intensives.
Intensives. More intensives. More money, more money, more money. Okay, I heard $3,500. That number's going to go up, but it's a great place to start. Kylia, Dr. Kylia?
Execution.
Execution. Yes, anybody needs some more strategy, some more intensive, some more programming, and some more execution in their business? Did you all learn from this six-figure panel today? Aren't they amazing, answering all your questions and sharing their strategies and their background and their mistakes and their wins? All right, I want to thank you all so much again for participating. We appreciate you. Let's give them one last round of applause. We'll hand it back over. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.